Yo, what's up everyone? How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. As you can maybe see by the leaves on the road and the trees, fall has started, and that means it's almost the end of the season, sadly. And I want to squish out a few more videos while I can, so that's what I'm trying to do right now. And I wanted to make a video about the following subject. I don't know if you can still hear me because the train's all weighed. Okay, I wanted to make a video about the following subject. What you should focus on as a beginner rider. Or rather, well, if I got into bikes again, right, for the first time, what I, with my knowledge now, would focus on. So the thing I focused on when I got into riding motorcycles was mostly what bike am I gonna get, which I think is a very common thing for people to think about when they get into motorcycles, because honestly, like, it's an important choice. Like, it's gonna be your first bike. You're gonna spend some time on it, so you want to make the correct choice, which is, you know, a logical thought process. But at the same time, I feel like people tunnel vision a bit too much on what bike am I gonna buy, or what do I want to be my first bike. And I think that's not the main thing to focus on when you're getting into motorcycles. Sure, think about it and, you know, research some bikes, but I mean, like, most people go with like an R3, a Ninja 400, CBR 500R, a Duke 390, maybe an MT-07, Ninja 650, Z650, you know, anywhere between 300cc and 650cc mostly, right? That's what I would recommend starting on anyways. And sure, it's an important thing to think about, but honestly, the difference is very little on those bikes. It's mostly which color do I like more, right? Like, if you like blue, get a Yamaha, get an R3. If you like green, get a Ninja 400. Do you like orange, get a Duke. I don't know. Do you like red, get a CBR 500R. It's honestly, like, what I'm trying to say is the difference you're gonna notice on these bikes, these beginner bikes, is very minimal. Because honestly, they're all just a 300 to 500cc bike with a parallel twin that makes 48 horsepower, and that's it. Like, how much different are you gonna make it? It's honestly just looks at that point, right? And sure, like, an MT-07 makes its power a bit different to a Z650 because of the cross-plane engine, right? So there's a little bit there's a little bit of difference in the bikes, obviously, but not enough to where you should be spending your whole time while getting into motorcycles before you can actually ride because you have your license, trying to figure out what bike is best for me, because in the end it doesn't really matter. It's more, pick something that you think looks nice and that you fit on, which, you know, was a problem for me at first, because I was like, I'm too big for a lot of these bikes, I'll feel cramped. But even then, honestly, after actually riding some stuff and sitting on some bikes, most of them are pretty okay, even for someone my length. So what I think you should be focusing on is more like, wait, let me rev bomb this thing. Sounds good. What I think you should be focusing on is riding techniques, like slow speed maneuvers, how to corner properly, how to brake properly, and even what can go wrong while riding a motorcycle, because this is a very risky hobby in the end of the day, because, you know, it's, yeah, motorcycling is risky. Like, there's risk involved. So what can go wrong and how do you prevent it, right? Research stuff like that. So for example, I found a guy on YouTube who makes videos about what can go wrong on a motorcycle and how to prevent it. Dan the Fireman, I don't know, you probably know him if you find this channel because he's pretty big, but he makes content where people send him videos of their crashes or like near crashes and stuff, and he analyzes what happens and explains what the person could have done differently to prevent the crash or prevent the situation as a whole. He does this with like color codes. He has like, I don't know out the top of my head right now, but he has like color codes like, I don't know, yellow is like, okay, be cautious in this kind of situation. See someone's braking, right? Be cautious. Be ready to brake or whatever. And he has these steps that you can really, they're really good to just have in your mind, right? Just have them in your mind, in the back of your head, so that when you do go riding, you can utilize that stuff. You can recognize dangerous situations or see stuff before it's too late, right? See this person is going to the left, okay. I'm going straight. They have to stop, but will they stop? You can see that before even getting into the situation where they don't stop. Because right of way is good. Like, yeah, sure, I had right of way, but if that person decided, no, you don't, I'm the one who's vulnerable, right? So he analyzes stuff like that. So shout out to Dan the Fireman, by the way. Great content. I will put a link to his channel in the description. I definitely recommend watching stuff like that, but also, like I said, just general techniques on like slow speed maneuvers. Like at first when I was taking my motorcycle lessons, I was like, why do I need to learn figure eights, right? What are figure eights gonna, like, when am I gonna do a figure eight on the road? That was my thought process. But when you think back about it, it's all about bike control, because you have to control the throttle, the clutch, your rear brake, all at the same time, right? And if you can do those kinds of maneuvers, then you know you have better control of your bike. Like sometimes in like really slow parts, like right here, right? There's a bike path. There's cars coming. I need to slow down and analyze. I want to stay upright on my bike though and like slowly creep forward. I have to use my brake, my clutch, and my throttle to do that. So that's good stuff to know, right? How to corner properly. Like you want to cut, like you don't want to be on the inside of you don't want to be on the right side of the lane when you're taking a right corner. Like stuff like that. It is very simple stuff, but it is good to know it before you actually ride, so you don't actually have to like it's good to know that stuff before you ride, because then when you go riding, you already know that stuff. You don't have to figure it out anymore. And sure, you probably have to fine-tune it a bit and see how it actually works while riding, because as always, like theory is great, but doing something is always a little bit harder than actually just reading how to do something. It's always good to try to learn that stuff beforehand, right? Because then you just know what to do if you do get in like a dangerous situation, or you know how to make an emergency brake. Because if you don't know that stuff, there's a ambulance or police coming this way. Ambulance. Just want to make sure I don't have to move over. What was I saying? Right. It's good to know how to do all of this stuff, so you don't have to learn it while stuff is happening, right? Because if you don't practice emergency brakes, or you don't know how to do them, and there's an emergency, like that's not a good time to learn how to do that. You want to learn that beforehand. So it's mostly, I think people focus too much on what bike to get, how to learn wheelies, stuff like that before they even get into riding. I think it's mostly that, and I think people should focus more on how to actually ride a motorcycle. Like, what is counter steering? How many new riders actually know what counter steering is? There's a lot of videos on it though, so I'm not going to explain it, but unless you guys want me to explain counter steering, I'll make a video about it. But there's plenty of videos out there already explaining counter steering and how it works and why it's important and when you use it, which is actually most of the time. But oh my god, I'm going so off topic again. Why do I always do this? Okay, so the summary of what I'm trying to say is try not to focus too much on what bike to get, how to do wheelies, how to do crazy stuff on your bike that you're not gonna do anyway yet. Like, focus on how to maneuver your bike, how to recognize dangerous situations, how to avoid dangerous situations, what to do if you get in one of those situations. Because a lot of people say, right, like every motorcycle rider is gonna crash at some point, and I don't know if I agree with that. I know some people who've ridden a motorcycle for the longest time and never crashed. Like, sure, it can happen at any time, and it doesn't have to be your fault, but you know, it is good to know how to prevent that stuff, right? So I think people should focus a little bit more on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are getting into riding, and if you are, or you just got into riding, or you've been riding for a longer time, welcome to the family. Because honestly, riding a motorcycle is like having a second family. Like, honestly, it is just so great. Like, this community is so warming and welcoming, and there's so much to learn about so much stuff. And it is great. It has been it has been a great addition to my life. It really has been. This community has brought me so much joy, and I've learned so many new things. I never thought motorcycling would be a part of my life until it became a part of my life, and now I just can't think what my life would be like without it. So I'm really thankful for getting into motorcycling, or I'm really thankful for getting into riding motorcycles, and I have my brother to thank for that, but I already mentioned that in a previous video. But yeah, I would definitely recommend everyone to get into this this hobby. It's just great. So if you are getting into motorcycling, welcome to the family. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.